All right, welcome back to the Content Marketing Mastery Certification. We're in Module 5, and we're in content that increases retention and loyalty, two very important goals for your business. Now, there are two types of content. We're here in the excite, advocate, and promote stages of the customer value journey, and there are two important types of content we need to be thinking about in these stages: onboarding content and indoctrination content. And before we jump in and take a real close look at what kinds of content we could produce at these stages, let's look at the goals at the excite, promote stages. And so take a look here. They're all the same at the excite, advocate, and promote stage. We want to increase retention. We want to increase customer loyalty, and we want to increase the number of positive reviews and positive referrals that we are getting to our business. So when we talk about retention is super critical when you hit any sort of scale. Take a look at Netflix here as an example of somebody canceling their Netflix. You know, your cancellation confirmation. On the right, you got Spotify. Hey, we're sorry to see you go. You want to retain the customers you have. According to Bain & Company, a mere 5% increase in your retention rate. In other words, keeping the customers you already have, selling them more often, can increase profits by 25 to 95%. So retention, super critical. It's not sexy, it's just critical. Okay, you've got to be thinking about retaining the customers you have, and you can use content to do that. So let's take a look at the math here, the math behind your marketing, and how to calculate your retention rate. So step one, you're gonna choose a time period. Let's just say it's January. You're gonna look at retention rate in January. So then you're going to determine how many customers you had at the beginning of that period, January. That is CE in the formula that we're gonna be looking at in a second. So it's the customers at the end of the period you're measuring. Then step three, determine how many customers were acquired during that period. So in January, how many customers did we pick up? And then step four, how many customers did you have at the start of the period? At the beginning of January, how many customers do we have? At the end of January, how many customers do we have? And how many do we acquire in the middle? Those are the three numbers you're going to need. And then you're going to run this formula here, CE minus CA divided by CS. So it's CE, how many customers did you have at the end? Minus CA, how many did you acquire? Divided by how many did you have at the start? So let's look at a scenario at the top that's perfect. So look at that row. Your current number of customers on January 31st. Okay, so how many customers do you have on January 31st? In the first scenario, you have 1,025. How many customers in the second column, you have number of customers acquired in January? You acquired 50 new customers in January. And then in the third column, you have the number of customers as of January 1st. So at the beginning of the period, you had 1,000. So your retention rate when you run the formula is 97.5%. A very good retention rate. You retained a lot of customers. You actually grew the company and the number of customers during the period. In scenario two, you've got a problem. You've got a high churn rate. And so take a look. In the first column, you have, as of January 31st, the end of the period, we had 900 customers. We acquired the same amount. We acquired 50. And we had the same amount on January 1st as scenario one. The problem is we lost more customers than we picked up. And so we now have a customer retention rate of only 85%. This is an important number to be looking at, especially if you're in software, if you're in information, in membership, any kind of subscription. You really need to be watching your retention rate. So what we want to do, how do we affect retention rates? Well, we increase loyalty, right? We want to create customers that want to tattoo our brand onto their arm. We want to increase positive reviews or referrals. We want to get that kind of stuff rolling. You can see here on the left here a tweet. I love Southwest Airlines, right? They anticipated an issue, blah, blah, blah. On the right, you have a review. This is actually a review I was doing of a place I was looking at staying in Colorado, and the reviews are not good. So you got the opposite of what you want there on the right. We want to increase those reviews and those referrals, and we can use content marketing to do it. So the first way we're going to be talking about, the first method we're going to be using is leveraging the content that we're producing at the awareness stage. We'll see you in the next video.